starting now. So I guess we could just start off by maybe saying whether we liked the picture book or not. Like, did we think it had a good story, or in general, like, what did you think after reading the book?
I think it was really cute. I liked all of just the style of like the drawing of the book. I think it was really cute, and it also reminded me of the movie Up. You know how like they also have that little house and then like buildings take over.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of that. I liked it. I thought it was cute.
I wonder if that's where they got their inspiration from for the beginning of that movie is from this book. Just because it's
especially when it's it starts to like the city starts developing around the house. That just totally reminded me of Up.
I really like that they gave like the house kind of like emotions. I don't really know like the exact term for that, but I thought it was really cute how like the author kind of made the house seem like a person and how it had feelings like when the family like left and eventually when like I think the grandmother's like child or daughter comes and takes the home back to like the farm or like whatever. But I thought it was like a really cute story in general.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh no, go for it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that like it reminded me of personification and how like it prepares children for that later on.
Yeah.
I like how she experiences the house experiences so many like human activities and like things that are happening in the environment that a normal person would go through.
Yeah, I also really like the just how the author drew like the different seasons. I liked or like also like from like day to night. Like I like that she drew like the sun with like the like kind of like each had like a face or something. I thought that was really cute.
What do you guys think the house might be feeling? Like besides all of that, like do you think she might be feeling like upset or happy or confusion? Because the author really puts so much emotion into this house, that so much is going on around this house that I'm just trying to figure out, like, maybe she's unhappy.
That's what I got from it, was that she was happy.
Maybe she might be miserable, because I got that feeling, I got that vibe that the house might be feeling miserable. Yeah. Mostly because everything is just changing so quick around her, and, she doesn't get to just stop.
Yeah, because at the beginning of the book, it said, like, she didn't really want to live in, like, the countryside anymore. She wanted to experience the city. And then, once all of that building happened, she kind of regretted it. And, she liked the country and moved back there, so.
Yeah, I think also it was because kind of like the house was formed by like the family, and eventually when the family left, I feel like the house kind of went into depression because like that was her like family in a sense, and when no one started taking care of the house anymore, I feel like the house kind of felt like disowned or kind of like left. But then finally, when like the daughter takes it back, then she kind of feels like a sense of like friendship or like a relationship because she was like lonely with the city life.
Kind of sounds like once you're 18, boop, you do your thing.
I think like it also kind of teaches the children. Like I noticed a lot of things like it taught them about like the seasons, the like moon cycles, like the stages of day and night, and just like life in general and how it like changes often. And also like it teaches them about nature.
Mhm.
How did you guys feel about, like, in regards to the physical, like, structure of the book, how the text was kind of like how you were showing, like, on one of the pages, the actual text is kind of like sprawled across the page. How did you guys feel about that? Like,
This,
make it more, yeah, like, did it make it more interesting to read? Did it make it difficult to read? What do you guys think?
I think it was fun because we're so used to always reading like a certain way, and it's a great introduction for kids that are starting to that are in kindergarten or in first grade, of course not preschool, but just for them to really point out and see different kinds of structures. It's like kind of poetic.
Mm-hmm.
It's written in like in a poetic kind of way. So I found that very interesting. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's verses and stuff.
Yeah, I
So
kind of also interpret it a little differently. I thought like the text was kind of illustrating like the seasons. So like when it shows
mhm,
fall, like how like there's like, more of a
like
breeze in
this.
fall. Yeah, it's kind of like swaying like maybe like
Mm-hmm.
a leaf. Yeah, that's like a perfect example. Or like
Mm-hmm.
also in the winter, it does kind of
It
like the
just
same thing. Yeah.
twists. Yeah,
I just thought it was
I
really
really like
creative.
that.
Yeah.
That's a good connection.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I also like how when there's so much going on in the city and like the pollution or whatnot, like just the picture
Mm-hmm.
right here, like with the pollution and like the clouds and whatnot, goes along with how the structure of the
Mm-hmm.
text.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So that was fun.
Yeah. I feel like you don't see that a whole lot with, like, even children's books. Like, that's not something that typically authors do, and I don't know if that's because it's complex and trying to make the text either create an image or fit a certain way, or if it's, purely just it's easier to write in a straight line. But I do really like that it was able to sort of create a separate image on the other side of the page.
Mhm. Yeah, and I also thought it was interesting because like this book was like I think written in the 40s, but it's still like really kind of creative that I feel like a lot of books now that are more modern don't really have that creativity. At least some of
Mm-hmm.
the books I've read.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like stepping back on in time
Mm-hmm.
to seeing how, the illustrations were done because now technology has evolved so much that it kind of looks real because of the 3D and 4D or in those kinds of dimensions. So it's like going back in a time capsule.
I never knew it was like made in the 40s. I would have thought it was just a regular children's book from like today. But like then again, like the cars and everything in it kind of like resemble the 40s.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I also liked in regards to like the illustrations how like when the city started like being created around the house, how all of just in general all of the colors were darker. So like not only like the pollution like black, but also like the people's clothings were really dark. The like trains were really dark. The buildings were dark, and like even like the construction area was dark. So I feel that kind of like illustrated kind of how the house felt in general. So I thought
Mm-hmm.
that was pretty interesting.
In addition to that, it also shows how the house might be just it's starting to physically look very shabby and run down.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it kind of blends in.
Hmm.
What are some negative things that you guys don't like about this book? Or something that if you were to just, you're like, I kind of don't want to, I would probably change that a little bit, or
I
it
don't
doesn't
have
have to do with
anything.
things.
I think that it's like just like a cute little picture book. It's creative. It's colorful. Like, I really enjoyed reading it.
Hmm. Yeah, same. I feel like this would be like a really nice book to read to like maybe like K through 3 maybe. In regards to also teaching them maybe about like seasons or something like for an activity they could do something where how the author illustrates seasons. You could do something like have them felt like a graphic organizer or something where they explain like how they know in the book when it changes seasons, like either
Mm-hmm.
through the text or through the images, how they are able to determine that, or other activities like this. But yeah, I wouldn't really say there's anything negative about it.
Yeah, I feel
Another
like
thing that I do like is the rural, like it just shows different kinds of places, like rural, city, and different kinds of neighborhoods. Because I mean, all there's different kinds of children, and they all come somewhere different, and someone that might be living in LA is different from Orange County, or
Mm-hmm.
someone that might be living, more like a farm place will be like, oh yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you guys feel like this book, was it sort of depicting negativity towards modernization? Like, do you feel like it sort of made, or it was made to show children that cities sort of have a negative impact on us, or that you should stay like rural? Do you think that the author was trying to convince children of that, or anybody who reads the book?
I don't think
I
that was
don't think
really the
so.
message. Yeah, like I kind of feel like it had a deeper meaning.
I think if anything, it was the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Since this book got the Caldecott Award, do you think that it earned it, or like, do you think that this is a good example of a book that should have won an award for its illustrations?
I really liked the illustrations. I think it was pretty detailed for a picture book, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess like I don't know if this is really a negative thing, but like if I were reading it as a child, I would mostly pay attention to the pictures, not really the story much. It would kind of distract me a little.
Mhm.
But
Well,
everyone's
yeah.
different, so.
Well, one thing I liked is like honestly, I feel like the illustrations are so detailed that it could literally tell the story. Like you may not even have to read the words to know what's
Yes.
happening in the book.
That's true.
Yes, I agree. I definitely agree. I was thinking the exact same thing. Yes. Like the kids you can just tell them straight off the bat, like with what they're seeing in the pictures instead of reading it, because it can be pretty long if you're reading it to a kindergartner compared to a third grader. And kindergartners tend to like they just want to move around, so to really get their attention, you can just go straight off the bat with the pictures and just go along with that.
You know what's interesting is that you
Huh?
guys, hello, what? You guys,
I hear you.
you mentioned like the images telling the story, and it's funny because there's actually a quote here that says that was kind of like the author's goal. So she or he says, if the page is well drawn and finely designed, the child reader will acquire a sense of good design, which leads to an appreciation of beauty and the development of good taste. Primitive man thought in pictures, not in words, and this visual conception is far more fundamental than its sophisticated translation into verbal modes of thought. So I think that was kind of the goal,
Mhm.
was to communicate the story through these really detailed images versus having, that's kind of explains why the text too also was created like in shapes to sort of use imagery instead of actual words to tell the story. Well, do you guys have anything else? Anything else to say or mention?
Not really.
Yeah, I think we kind of covered it all.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're good.